Welcome back to Picks and Roll DFS. Quick recap from last night. We went 2-1, bringing us to 25-9 over the last 3 weeks. That's an incredible run. But remember, even when we miss a parlay by one leg, you don't want to chase losses. Stick to your bankroll plan because the goal is steady growth, not emotional swings. Before we dive in, Betr is giving away free money right now. $10 just for signing up, a 50% deposit match up to $200, and they've added a Jaden Daniels free square. He only needs half a yard to cash. Link in the description. Use code DIME. Also, if you sign up with that code and send me a screenshot to picksandrolldfs@gmail.com, you'll also get a free month in my premium winnable, where I'll send you plus EV plays to your phone every day. Let's get into our first play for today, which is going to be Sabrina Ionescu going higher than 4.5 assists. As we can see, this play is a favorite or a goblin on PrizePick at minus 137. We can also see major sports books and DFS platforms also have this as a huge favorite, from Bet365 at minus 140, DraftKings at minus 145, Hard Rock Bet at minus 150, all the way to Underdog at minus 174. Now, if we look at the last 20, we can see that she's cashed this line in 14 of her last 20 games, which is a 70% hit rate and an average nearly at 6 and a median at 5.5. We can also see on the year as a whole, seeing as the season is coming to a close, she's also cashed this at a 67% rate, going above this line 24 out of 36 games. When we look at the Washington's assist defense versus guards, we can also see that they're ranked 8th, which is neutral. So it's right in the middle of the pack. Doesn't necessarily hurt us, but it doesn't help us. Just a key or a piece of information to keep in mind as we make our plays. We can also look at the head-to-head matchup, which is even better for us. It covers a majority of last year and only 2 games this season, but we can see in 6 games, she's cashed this 5 times with an average of 6 and a median of 7. And then this year, she's cashed it both times, which would leave us at a 100% hit rate. Our insights also tell us that she has exceeded 4.5 assists in 15 of her last 17 games at home, averaging 6.5 in that time span. We can also see other comparable guards and their success against the Washington defense in terms of assists. We can see that some of them have done a really good job. Now, Kelsey Mitchell, she was held under, but she is a heavy scorer, although her line was at minus 225. We can see that Julie wasn't expected to go over with a plus 124. So as we look at these lines and see the hit rate, we can keep those successes in mind as well as those odds when we make our decision. But this head-to-head of 83% and the year overall at 67% make this a really solid play, especially with Sabrina's playmaking skills coming to fruition. Expect her to set the tone early with her distribution. Again, that's Sabrina Ionescu going over 4.5 assists. And don't just take my word for it. Always do your own research. Outlier is perfect for this. It gives you hit rates, matchup data, and trends all in one place. Never blindly tell picks. Build confidence in your own. Try it free with my link below. Let's go to play 2, which is going to be Gabby Williams going higher than 2.5 assists. Just like the Sabrina play, we can see that this play is a favorite or is largely favorited on PrizePicks at minus 132. And then we can look at some of the other lines. We can see that many places aren't even giving you this line because of its high probability. We can see Underdog has it at minus 216, and ESPN Bet has it a favorite at minus 190. Now, if we look at her last 20, we can see that she's cashed this line 70% of the time, going above it 14 out of 20. On the 2025 season, she's cashed this line at a 72% rate, going above this line 31 out of 43 times. And then head-to-head matchups is where we have a little bit of cause for concern. She's only cashed it one time this season, which was all the way in June. The last 2 games, she was unable to go above this line of 2.5. I will give you the caution or the heads up. If you are playing on other sites or just noticing the lines, it is a heavy favorite on FanDuel at under 3.5. So while I'm taking this at 2.5 because I know a lot of people love the overs, another play could be that under 3.5. You could also do 2 plays or 2 slips where you have one at that 2.5 for this play, and then the second one at the under 3.5. And if she gets to 3, you cash both. Then it's a win-win situation. Or if you play both, you should get at least 1. Just an idea. One other thing to look at in terms of matchup defense, we can see that Golden State is 3rd in assists allowed, which makes sense as we see that she's only cashed this at a 33% rate this season. We can also see that Golden State has done a solid job at denying a lot of guards the overs. So we want to keep that in mind as we make this play. So if you look at this data here and you see this and it makes you kind of apprehensive or a little worried to play this line, keep in mind I just mentioned that alternate line of under 3.5 as well as an option. But we can also see the insights have told us that she has exceeded 2.5 assists in 8 of her 9 games at home, averaging 5 in that span. And before we get into our last pick, just want to give a shout out to Pikkit. It's a great place to track your slips, line movement, and results. It's free to use and helps you understand your long-term ROI. Use code LOB when you sign up. Link down below. Our last play for today is going to be Satou Sabally going higher than 4.5 rebounds. As we can see, this line is a great favorite on FanDuel, which is what we're always looking for when it comes to WNBA props, and they have it at minus 130. We can also see ESPN Bet has it at minus 135, and Sleeper all the way at minus 155. You can also see that in terms of forwards, the Sparks are 6th, which is neutral in terms of rebounds allowed, averaging just 17.6 a game. We can also look at that last 20, where she's only cashed this line at a 50% rate, going above it 10 out of 20 times in an average average and median pretty much exactly at that line. When we look at the year overall, she's cashed this line at a 70% rate, going above it 26 out of 37 games. And then our head-to-head matchup from last year and this year combined, she has cashed this line 3 out of 4 times for a 75% rate, averaging 5.5 and a median of 5. We can also see the insights where she has exceeded 4.5 rebounds in 15 of her last 19 games at home. And we can see there's been one push, and out of multiple forwards, only 2 listed here have not gone above their line, which is a great sign for us for tonight. Again, this line is going to be Satu Sabli going over 4.5 rebounds. Now remember, the free picks are just the start. Inside my Winnable VIP, you're getting the best plus EV props across multiple sports delivered daily. That's how you really build your roll over time. Link below to lock in. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe to keep these videos going. Let me know which picks you're riding with tonight. Let's keep this heater alive and build that roll.